so bebajo emo akwaba ene kase bo asemufo aje braso ne so ne di hwedi tie na nwumre maje breaking kan e de ma wo ASHANTI Prime TV nwumre no so kase bo kase so ensem no bia obete eye urade onyamfo ato force na wono no ye Ghana o hwe yesika sem so de nsem atudwa atreda obeye budget na sa so na opa ye papa penia obra beye ye foto samfo abande dani mo no kenofori atanso so ho ensensem bubuja brane so akam ho na memfa ensem no ensom ma mentwa me ho mra me a ene magical se no e de ama wo no me di gifti abagena me basesia. Yanko kase bone so lawyer penny and di any safas bayuo wono ena oda strategic mobilization limited ano lawyer penny di nsema tudwa faye rani onyamfo Kennedy oforiata ya wono na abandada mu no yesi ka foto samfo emaga na sabre ye nyine nimse ne ho sensem de do so pa wabra NDC fa konwa no yesi sika wadie de enyansem ketwa no nam suma mpanimfo edi atu dwa kire se charges ahodo pi na wo ha wo mo de bebo no de edi aboni ni nyina ye keka bom ne di no ejina amrana no se de be a emrano no ene no ebedi ni se de tie.
Now the OSP's assertion that 125 million Ghana cedis is to be recovered by the state from SML has no factual and evidentiary basis. It is mere conjecture, and he's just whipping up unnecessary sentiments against SML. In fact, The letters we have given you, the 14th October letter from GRA, they stated clearly that SML has discharged all its duties. SML did everything.
Nyankopon adoma ye de Ghana ye sika sem so photo so openi a wono eno he sika sem so ato force in dia to dwa wo kire mu se ya me adoma Thursday 13th November 2025 ya omo ebehwe na omo de niam aguakwan mu na sika sem mu de koso wa fi mu nyina no omo e de atodwa ne ahwe kwan ye be fa so a Ghana be konenim.
Mr. Speaker, on Thursday, 13th November 2025, the Minister responsible for Finance, on the authority of the President of the Republic, will present to this Honorable House the budget statement and economic policy of the Government of Ghana for the year ending 31st December 2026 in accordance with Article 179 of the Constitution. The Business Committee therefore urges the Honorable Members to take note and be present in the House on the said date. Submission of budget estimates. The Speaker, the Business Committee urges the Ministry of Finance, other ministries, and independent constitutional bodies to submit estimates to the House on time for the consideration and approval. Post-budget workshop. Mr. Speaker, in view of the presentation of budget statement and economic policy of government, a post-budget workshop will be scheduled for the participation of all members of Parliament. The venue and time will be communicated in due course. For the participation of all members of Parliament. The venue and time will be communicated in due course.
Yanto akasia bone so GJA for chair and di eni kofie du dumfe edin sama tujwa was 6 November ya ansense me course or galamsey site ahodo wabra ye tu galamsey ho so sase de be tu galamsey ase free Ghana kra no ensentrofo bidum ye kopiepie ho no mo prepra ya no no bambofo mpo amfa wo mo ho ani na odi atudwa chirimu se o mo behwe pa o mo nyi wo mo mada se de be ya we
thank God. It could have been worse. The nature of the job, sometimes some of these things do happen, but I'm glad that they are all recovering very well. We've been to all the two hospitals. The one in critical condition, Akwesia Domakun, who is currently at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, he's hearty. We're waiting on the medical officers to inform us of the next line of action, but we understand that he has a fracture on the right leg, actually on the thigh. But we met him; he's hearty, just that he doesn't know what is next, and that is where his concern is. But we are relying and hoping that we hear very favorable information from the medical directors as to how the processes will go, if there is going to be a surgery or otherwise. The other four that we visited at the Aferi Hospital are also very good. We're hoping that they will be discharged very soon, hopefully tomorrow. But in all, I would say that whilst we are worried about the fact that this accident happened, all the journalists involved are in good spirits, and we're hoping that there will not be any adverse information apart from what we've seen, and they will be discharged and get to their families as soon.
Offenso no for former Shebedwani ya ni dini Fred Shei asamwade atudwa wochim sesese ne kamea kwa koyese Ghana ye wie mu Shei nyina ye dada bomre wane nkokranti ye hwe na mampani nya foforo mono chia wen kansuda sede be ya beboa ma ne dwumadi etimi akọ na kwa no sede ye pe no wano.
The life of a president of every nation is important as any individual citizen of that particular nation. And if you look at what it takes to move our presidents around, it's not something that we should joke with. We probably might not compare ourselves to the advanced nation, but if you look at how much the advanced countries invest in carrying the #1 gentleman or lady of their land, you can see that they put all kind of attention and importance to it, because losing the #1 person of a country could cost the nation so much resources that we could have used to save more lives. And I believe that during the time of MPP, that we needed a presidential jet. It's the same thing today, because I would never argue back and forth on the need to have a safe mode of transport for the president of this gentleman. I would never want to play politics with it. What is good for the goose is good for Uganda. So we don't have to play politics when it comes to the life of ourselves, and most importantly, the first gentleman or lady of the land. So I will advocate for something. It's quite unfortunate that those in the ruling government had so much to say against His Excellency President Akufo-Addo having to invest in something like that, and they talked against it. You see, there's a saying in Akan that when you are chewing somebody's hand, you have to remember that you have a hand. So today, for me, we want to keep everybody alive until the appointed time that God has given. So as much as we can invest, we should invest, but we cannot lie to the people that there's no need, when it was the time of Akufo-Addo and now is the time of somebody, President Mahamudu. So much the same way Akufo-Addo's life is important, the same way Mahamad's life is also important. So we will want the technical people to really sit down and advise us. We are told that the presidential jet is in France, that is being repaired, or whichever country it is. The question is, what is the technical advice, the appropriate technical advice saying? The Ghanaian people, the Ghanaian will be the final judge as to how we lie to them, and later on when it gets to our time, we change the story. The issue of Galamsey, we all know, we are all testament to what is happening. Whether the turbidity of our waters have gone down or it's stopped completely, we are going to be our own judges in the few days.
Yada so agina mu ewo mrahye bedwafie opani ni onyamfo anidi ene Gambaga mumu ni Nurudin Mohammed awono ena woye mrahye bedwani di man na lergo for Mission North East na wodin sem atudwa wo Parliament House Mission mrahye bedwafie a wo kire mu se minority leader na se majority leader de tudwa wo bisasa den na ya na wo mo emma ye frasitna wo mo eyi wo mo free mo ne ho na ode betudwa chire mu se AC anase air conditioner madam anase offices ye nwunu no asese wo mrahye bedwafie ho nti o hyew ne ade ka ho binti na empifo ya na wo mo mpeso mbeba asetena no ne no na ye majority leader yi ebisa ne se na be mene ye to aba ma wo se brabet na air condition mu nko ana ensem a wo kekan di asensisi so bi na entaso mu sa dan air conditioner asenti o no ato aba ma wo se brana besi wo menemu no nam air conditioner eni ho nti wo ma eno no anything ensem a wo keka na de wo se ensisi so ma no.
Mr. Speaker, for some time now, members in this House have put on complaints to the majority leader and leader of government business about the office air conditions. Mr. Speaker, up to now, we have not seen any action from the leader of government business. And some of these air conditioning not working has contributed for members not coming to Parliament. Well, if you come to Parliament and you don't have anywhere to sit before you come to the chamber, it's difficult for members of Parliament. So I'm pleading to the leader of government business to, as a matter of agency, to look into it so I will see how best the air conditioning will fix for members. I have been in this House long enough. What you see now as offices are actually recent additions to this parliament. I'm sure Niti will recall that in the days when he was a whip, we didn't have officers. And yet we came to this house and we sat in this chamber and we prosecuted our constituents' business and government business. So I do agree with you that we need to urgently fix the air conditioners, but the challenges with your air conditioners cannot be grounds for not showing up. If you give that indication to the public, you are essentially telling civil servants that when the air conditioners in their offices are also not functioning, they should also not go to work and provide services to the public. Essentially telling civil servants that when the air conditioners in their offices are also not functioning, they should also not go to work and provide.
Orani onyamfo Kwame na Emmanuel ayima wono na oye CEO edema Minerals Commission wode nsema tudwafa eye galamsey honsensem legal mine na ene central for kone ebro wo mo bambofo krade yenka no wode atudwa se wo mo nsososo timamufue mo nsore na ye nyina yenka mbom na galamsey ntokwane yenko sede beya ebebo ye nyina ye daache ne ye ma ne ye nanannan kanso mo wo mo bebe wiase sede beya ensase ni nsusem bekusimi akoye na wo mo ama mebre
behind the scenes. And trust me, this government has the political will to fight this galamsey. And like you know, government has also introduced the R concept, that's the cooperative mining. And as I'm speaking with you now, come to Elembele, we have been seeded with a portion of Adamos pit that hopefully from next week or two, you see people start mining in that pit, and they will leave the water bodies and the places that are illegal. It's a whole thing. We don't need to use force. Mining, yesterday it was in the news, Ghana is set in the world in terms of mining reserves. We are first in Africa in terms of mining reserve. So we are not called Gold Coast for nothing. We are called Gold Coast because when you go to Channel 1 studio, once you excavate or you dig the ground in your studio, you find some gold there. So there is gold everywhere, but the issue is that we have to do it responsibly. So as for the gold, people will mine, but the president is saying that we should mine this gold responsibly, and that is the commitment the minister comes in. We have to do it responsibly. So as for the gold, people will mine, but the president is saying that we should mine this gold responsibly.
Environmental protection for the atuja woman so koswa efwa eye bambofo so said ye be ya mbetu ya to galamsey na se na womo e de atuja womo ehre muse mabamu mukra wo galamsey no a omo ba mo homodin so mbetu ase ne ho ehre se timamufo yi no ene ye nya dwene na womo entu galamsey na se na womo so womo bebro eye asojafo e be ba bebo mo ho ban ene nsase ho ban ne dia omo nyere womo ho pa na omo so ebo Muhammadi bia said ye beya or mobetu ase na wo chiremu se o matimi abomodi achi eye China fo a wo mo enso so eye galamsey yi ebie no ebia sabria me no ka say o mo de wo mo ama eye Ghana Immigration Service no said ye beya o mo ebe investigations ahodo aka.
Notice they went on site, and so they were conducting operations around the country, going around to ascertain who was operating these machines or manufacturing the floating devices without permits, and to close down shops. And it was in one of these operations around Dadri that the illegal miners spotted them and decided to attack them, pelting stones at them and things like that. And so they had to flee for their lives. And in doing that, had to take another route out of the place, out of Boise. And it was in the course of that they got involved in the accident. 2 journalists were in critical condition. One, they are stable. Per the reports I received this morning, they are quite stable. One had to be operated on, had a surgery yesterday. Several others, sustained injuries. Again, this incident is unfortunate. And Honorable Amakufiwa, again, who also doubles as acting minister for Environment, Science and Technology wishes to convey his utmost disappointment at the extent of events for these incidences. And he wishes to make it clear and sends warnings to all Galamseyers to desist from such acts in the future. Colonel Bois, the Director of Operations 49, has indicated, and he's reiterated that the efforts to combat illegal mining is going to continue, regardless of this incident. And we've seen that yesterday, 2 days ago, 7 Chinese were arrested in the Nzima East area. This morning, another Chinese has been arrested in the eastern region and has been sent to the Ghana Immigration Service for further action. Now, following all of those reports, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, immediately notified the Speaker of Parliament, the Interior Minister, for swift and urgent investigations into the matter.
Yeah, so I can say about so yeah, Eastern region. Are you caught the hene ya wo mo inana? Are you caught the berima? Are you caught the tain or tosumi no dia tuja watch rese or sre ni kromu for titru paye mabunua e wo mo mrantie no titru ese enubone ya dia mfaso bia ni so be se wa brabo e beti jaw e be ma hu anu nti o sre mrantie wo ni kromu won mo ese wo mo ntwe mo free nubone ho se de be ya o mo suku na wo mo kwa metimi akoni ye esua de abeye mpanin papa na wo mo a esua nyuma wodon so atumi esua wo nyuma no wo kwampa so awie na enubone anse wo no mo ensem sei e no de tudwa
ne nanti a ye nanti fi ha kusi ali esa nanti fa krom bi sin ko sa fito junshi na ya ba no nipa de wo ho a se uti upum ma utututi upum a na uyare bibie e wo so sebe abom nyansan press ehu se udidi na utransi na uti upum a ubemnya bibie e fe cholesterol na ama fat adosu srade adosu wo omuni pedua na ma oyare bibie nti enu de tosu mienu branch ni mamawa ne wo mo afa ndro a emfata na wonum. In fact, there be a masama me can say sebi tafrachi ukusie mpo echiri ukusie wisie ekusie echiri wisie na wo benu wisie egu ukumaso ebama TB timesre wona wo sa nduboni a wo monum ti say red ti say ndro a emfata cannabis epamchawo upese onyi na wo chede a tuhufi. If you say Sanya mana yembinu emfa ye wan shemu eno ntina ye wa honden ye da so tiase na se unum sa de na oti wankasa o nyiso your life, you are reducing your life. The mesre mrantie titiri mama wanum de kakre bi ba ye mrantie no doso efa enduboni num the mesre obia momode se obetunu no afim to me jai at once, but at least minimize it. So we know 2 glasses of alcohol. Sebita virtue, local drinker. Now you know how minimize to 1. We know 1. I bet me minimize it to half. Now I do quarter. At the end of the day, bet me jai. She knew one nipa dasani. Usi ubo se ubeya unto me. Sounds soon as you knew also se ubeja unto me jai. You can't stop it. Timpamucho munja sadem. Na oman no daach no ewo musem nyem binum de we are not expecting say you betumi atiaria so the next 50 years and now the next 30 years but we binum de the next 50 years da homam ti mamu twa mu kwanso na oman no daach a oman no hwe say mu ba besu ni mu no na fe ye hwe mayem bidamasi
owie ye no ni mabunu ya wo kasa wakasa chro wo mo no so the same say atujwa.
ye de me gidi misusu ni say na nanchie mo ma ye nyira ehie mu e ba koyo eni odo ti e mrante na mabawa ye benya pomuden ti e be gina na so aye djumaden nti no ma ye nyira ka bon ye ni age pa nipa ba pa ye nsusu say nipa beba se nsu nipa ba pa ama mo wa bonten ni amama so nyina da meka che o mo say afida se o mo nyina mra ye nka mbom na enhia na aye soronko kra aye ko cha aye foforo
mo say me pesa ye nya apomuden na ye de ye afahye no afahye na ye ba be ye no won a won sora se ewu ye be ya ma wo free ena won apomu ye de no eno so doctor fo be hwe wo free eno ti na ye de ye ho jem gidigidi se na be ya e be ye fe eno ti na ye de ye ya ba be de enya swine e ya afahye gidigidi to bi anfa ne ho nsem eye memle da anopa no mra no ne ye nyina be bogua na ye nka tete asem ye mfa nkyere wo na nya fe ti mi ameka kyere wo ni oni ti organize sa exercise we na afro to any say apomuden ti se na be ya ye mmaburu no mrante ne maba no ye benya apomuden because minim say wo ye exercise a tempia no wo apomuden anu ti na ma ye organize sa size we akwantum no na ameka se meka kyere wo ne say afahye na ye di no ye di ni aboa oman no ti mesra won se wo mutwa wani emehwe wo mra na wo meka ye ho ne na onyina li afahye no na enya fe because ye say ye de be ye impuntu e de ama oman no enu ti na ye afahye
health work ya ye hwe ayekoche ye first time ye host program ni na nanso ye se obeye apomdin anantie ye hwe ya apomdin hunya ye mpa intino se na nana hye na ye ni age youth ye ni age pa se na natimede apomdin nanti e baaye tietimi boy ho modern ekoye mane ye fe ya apomdin hunya ye da na nanso ase so timide bibi se kese etimi abre yen ayekwefu ayen so ye wa da na ase ye bompa ye se na mema ya wonde ne nkwa na na esi ano yetimi aye mana ye fe aye kese asinsei ya na ase bebre say ka hu bi na nananum ehye we no because makoye ayekweche akwapem ni chia media na je se bibia no medi mutintrima yi na mom no ye we ya ye di kan ayekweche te no adwen se ohina oni
Yanto akasi abone so mikai was so sharp Ashanti Prime TV you read on so akasi na wasungusu wa wutia wani nso ehwe no Qnet fo ni yokofo aka wo montuma bo ano asabre wo mo se wo mo ni enkrofo a wo mo ya kromfo nso wo mo de edi Qnet na ye adwuma no ba be kan bom na wo no atumi ni sankrofo yi adini nyonyonyonyo se de etie pa na ni nyina ene se wo mo be pie mu okumase ha no na sabre amene wo kasai wo machi nipa mako 320 o munyina eye Qnet no na Qnet no wo mo ye che wo mo no emu 295 die wo mo ye victims a yesusu se wo mo no ya sesa wo mo afinkofo aman so ne Ghana ha mo na yakeka wo maboa no wo dem a o ye de wo mo edi nsemone ena emu 25 die o mo no ene empanimfo a akromforemfo a wo mo aka wo mo tamaboa no edi nsemone kankofo ma ebomu a wo mo de wo mo eye sa Qnet enti sei na yokofo e de atudwa.
No, where are you going to look inside? Then they don't lock it. This one they don't lock it. Wait, my man. But where are these? I see where you're going to look inside.
Yeah, so akase born so dia ene na headmaster bi so na ne ho aka edwam wo ne wo su afra ban ne adofo a omonsam ewo bi se momrame na adoye na ne suku dan so apasa bre wo gye ne ho be bia enyinti aban no o de sre ko ese wo sre wada we die kotodwe gufom bra na ebeye na adoye eye teacher ni a anase headmaster yi ni din di Mr. Joseph Adea ono e no ye head teacher de ma SDA primary school eno ewo doma mu ya eno no wo sre se wo momra asika fo Ghana asika fo nsam obie kotodwe gufom nsadanse ya momra me ya doye na ebre sei endia na hia momo a enya bra ya wu enti se wo hwe school dan eda so ya we ni school dan ankoda etina musua de fiti duada kopim fiada na we no de man kokokora se wo mo nkodem na mponche buo kora enti ponche bedem Ghana pa de beko yenim na achepa wa awrade hu ye mobona ano eya yede kire se wo hwe edan a we yesi edan o se eso apa na wo ka se wo ni school dan wo se eso apa we so ba na apa ebi ni ho mbeka se bi ni ho amankofa be wa doye no wo se eso apa we ye dan a eso pa enti se wo nkokọ a wo fie mpo no wo be bobo we am madam enkokwa ye wo mu fie emponchibu a ye bobọ ne nantwibu a ye bọ ma nantwie mpo no ete sei edan pa nipa dasani etena musua de 21st century Ghana ba bia ye da so a ewo awrade hu ye mobọ na enya asem ketwa asem ben kura ni na abofra yi kura ti da we mu adwempa na se ye kire na de a obehunu wuti we mu nipa etwamu a aboa bi je kwekwe nwura aso se de esi wo wuti hwa na wo bia abapie ho no na enkoda nketo a yesua de ebe de nkwa wa concentrate 21st century ankrofo tete classroom a air condition bofa ho no mo hwe bia ye nam we ye kro pa nipa wo mu a emofra sua de hwe we emframa kitwa bi fa ya moti emframa ho krasa ye krasi moti emframa begira ho a ebesesa we nyina agufom na wo mate sa trap we mu se school dan a imagine doma haya so nya se chirichiri bi o doma pa krom doma east asem na mekai entu hwe we ya awre ho we de yesra nana agima badu we de nana we de enye fe kra nana agima badu we san ye lawyer ni we enye fe yesra fa na sifom na enye nana agima nko Ghana sika for philanthropists ahodo a mo Ghana ha no ma mo ya ye we de esrem wanda mo kona mo konko ye mofrei adoye na ano odene we die kra na ede na wotira we musua de akura hu enti na nkoda ya bon yo wo chia good morning was a good afternoon good evening was how are you we de ta ni Ghana sa brewe ya pane ma bisi hu esrem ampanimfo mo mamu hoso mo mamu moso na we die emponti buo kura first we me ka bibia se papa bia wote ye mfa kire ni ponti buo ni na ntwibuo pa wo ko hu se de wasi ato fa ho aboso ye ne kama chale time we die we nko ade enti producer pa so betumi the headmaster no emfoni na to so amayen a na ahwefo so so ahwe hunu headmaster no a anke no so bebo apa na we die areho na we the teacher ni bi kwa obekwa akokire mponi enti na teacher fo ya kankan ni kumase o na me wo kira de na ye de wo koto buko hu we ya se wabam kura bebu eti producer Mr. Wa obetumi de headmaster no emfoni no atoso a na we de enyefe sikafoi ene e kabie womfo mfa mohonyim bie ene headmaster ne da so no we so de fine man waji ni munga we ye frɛ ni munga de ebutu ni tri so no ye frɛ ni munga ena de hye no no so ne ye fugu ai waji ni munga ne ni fugu kama na brand ye say headmaster na edan we na wo head ya mo nka no kro ha enti ne ye post teacher for no omo wo mo nko no apart from Kumase ne nkran omo wo mo nko ba bia bia na abekwa kwokira de wo we mu wugina mu ana bu abegu so se suro ate enti biesra mu a sika for despite cheda ne Kennedy pon mo sorry we dia mo sorry o we dia mo sorry o empani for na sika for mo sorry why yesre mo pa ye to akase bonus we breaking news 8 months pregnant woman oba pemfo a kire se wonyim kora wonyim abosome mako enwotwe producer betumi dia to so a abosome nwotwe enyensen na maame no yakwa hu se wawu a me ne wo kasai oh ayare hosem ya osu krom bi wo Doma West se Doma de ede asem kurani pemfo oba tan ye rade asem ben kura na ekoso my Ghana me ya twitwa no ye wo ba tan pemfo Doma East for no o musuku dan no de ye de to so ya no ana wo hwe bi no ane ho a eben ho a ena yakum obi de hye a wonyim abosome nwotwe ya aka bosome kropeda nka wawo no ye rade producer fato so na wo monhwe na we die abofro na reho na enipa boni ben kra na sese ye ba wiase a yenwene ye nua ho kra ase ye nhwe bie picture. We share video no mfoni e daso no a eno no ye oba pemfo ye twetwa ne kon e Radicals Jesus Christ tese kan na ase no okwa afuo mu o se dengo untumi mpokura kire se ede no bi be ye wo a obetumi na twema ne mu mpo oh entu hwese de yetwitwa no a woda ho ba pemfo Awurade nya mete ho pa hwe ma we no mo ekoso de a Awurade se nyo ha ede ba asem kure ni Awurade oh Doma fo mo sori bambo fo wo ho no mo na we die kire se wo hu ne ka wo kire mu kura asen na yeye oba tan pemfo ya akaboso me ba ko pe amana awo nipa ba asase so wo kum no akum ni ba ene wo da ho no ipa kura wo yesa no se waje wani so wo no wo de obekire bo ye da ase bebre ye begina wo iso kase bi se ni yen kanche awreho na yetwa ye ho aba na ye konkrofo amanso na ye de enkofo amanso nsem soso asom konkrofo amanso dia emfidie ne de adwuma tie to da na eba ne sa na mo de akyeye ye beko enkrofo amanso na ye de ho nsem soso asom wo nti producer se wo wi a na wa mama so ate ne wo ha no mo ye beko Uganda so na womo Jordan no se yi enti ye beko ehosem no so na so no mesre wa moma mincha me ho emra na ye nko obi man so ensem no so
crimes against humanity charges against Ugandan rebel leader
Yeah, call be my son some dia yenko Uganda ho na abetodwa ya Uganda minimum international criminal court wo Uganda dia todwa wo kire mu ese ensemoni bi kokoko so Uganda minimum na wono abomodene achi gang leader wono wo that sansemoni a ekoso ya no anidi ene leader no edin ye Joseph Kony a wono wo da nipaku a wo mato mo ho si ho se wo mo bedi semoni nsemfo atuchura semo Uganda main mu nene ya so ni mu a emra ne ni bedi.
Joseph Kony paving the way for a trial, though only judges at the International Criminal Court have confirmed war crimes and crimes against humanity charges against Ugandan rebel leader Joseph Kony paving the way for a trial, though only if he is captured. A 3-judge panel ruled that there are substantial grounds to believe Kony is responsible for 29 counts of atrocities, including murder, rape, and sexual enslavement, committed while he led the Lord's Resistance Army, the militia that terrorized northern Uganda and later part of Central Africa. Deputy Prosecutor Mam Ndiaye-Nyang said the LRA's campaign left deep scars on communities, noting that the social and cultural fabric of northern Uganda has been torn apart and is still struggling to rebuild itself. The hearing marks the first time the ICC held proceedings in absentia. Kony rose to global notoriety in 2012 after an online campaign highlighting his crimes went viral, yet despite years of international pursuit, he remains at large. 2012, after an online campaign highlighting his crimes went viral.
Yeah, so I can see about it. So I found quite good emotions so about good emotions so na cry House of Oak and Ashanti court or call and so the best any yankopon ya doma e kwasia da edi ani mo church ya and no because so Accra Sports Stadium and also so I peace so nti na and that's one no nti e kwasia da we ya eti fans and as supporters no so de ma dwen kire aba one ensemu sedia etie
omune na adom ati se NDC MPP la o hwe kotokwan asofoka has team no togbe onye serious yes
has onye serious
ese pa mo ko form yensa membo omuden match e ba bobo yi ye bo kuma sa na se bo wa
ya
o se na has ye bo match a ye do se o New Town ni aba Accra Stadium if you do see room ye ko ni town ko ya amamre e o New Town ise ye ko bi
nti amamre ne ka ho na mu lose matches ni bi wo
yes
na sa amamre no football dey different no
aya ti fiti da ko mu time ni na ya amamre o New Town enti se heart team no mo wura wo ma e de ni je be den ebeba ti se blaster ko bo blaster me ko so bi boot o beto so bi boot
there senko e bia na enye o shoe size
we yes senko say
e bia na enye o shoe size
unu ada two boot you don't know
has versus Kotoko correct scores
bibi ebe to Messi
and e correct
yes me ye nyakopon ana me ye Allah
ba sanka o ma correct score
me must go bibi ebe to Messi
Yanko anijidie kasi bomu na wa anijidie kasi bomu no na Vivian Jill Lawrence o yes di twani no what sini twa se no ede sini fufra bakra enkanso sini mu no chiao ya watu di maya na obi ti se cheche kuwo mu opokube osin wo mu eni kire se achese Vivian Jill na nkasa susu wo mbi eni ye stars no bebrebe na ene wonum egumo enti osha enna edaso no producer o de atoso kama enti yanhwe senior opoku be osin wom na checheku wom na Vivian Jill Lawrence na nkasa so wom wan nkasa picture de no picture kata wani na imagine you can say imagine ade no se de besia ye checheku ye security man no gate man or ye get mine or help proso na wono pa ni opoku belsin aka wo motama boado na Vivian Jill de abewo so wankasa nkasa hye se de besi aye ete se ebeye piso enti eno na eda so no papa fantini be kada no yesen enti ye begina we so na anwumre no nso kase bo no ye de ni nyina abewie ye dodo akonwa ye se entra so nche ene nso ye fiada ye ntofo wo foto bi de be ma wo bia ba o mode fa hye okotokum na joda eye Monday no wo de amana ne Friday ne fiada pa de yentufu tu me fokora binti eya menko yentufu ankasa ha hu ntufu Friday obi ani adaje a yedi ti afutu ohene ohema yenti afutu enti joda nyame adom anwumre yesi weekends de no ani Friday enti anadwi wo mu a ebe chile de be chile pa nanso wo chile a na wo hwe yie pa se be ya won chile emroso wo pia ya brafie ntem ne wiase na yehu pa ye ne eye emo api ne nam nso so no hu wo mo a nyame aba wo mu nipa nti obeka se wo mu ye nipa nso se bio na emo afa wo mo driving nso so ha wo driving na wa hwe yi pa nko no nsa bebre ne mfa nkotwi mfa nkrofo maso wo su twa akwa mu a na wa hwe yi nko no nsa bebre na so twa akwa mu a watumi atwa akodu fie sumdwiem weekend no ane Friday nti stay safe chile pa na mo wani na ho yankopon ya adoma me yebehia edwoda midin the gift ya bagna ene efia dam frame gift ya bagna from a gift tell adwempa me director and Kingsley ye be producer. I love you all. Nyame adoma Manti Macra.